Now we're going to break down the system. And the first step to doing that is just removing the front grille and the high energy grid and all the filters inside. And that's pretty easy, as we've seen. Just remove the front grille, remove the high energy grid, and remove the main filter and post filter and set those to the side. Next, I'll take the top off, and to do that, I'll spin the system around and show you where these screws need to be removed. First thing you want to do is remove these 3 screws that are on the back of the top cover. After those 3 are removed, spin it around, and then remove these 4 screws that are right here. After you remove the 3 screws on the back and the 4 screws underneath, now the top cover is loose and you can just slide that up. And it is connected by 4 electrical connections. Now to remove the connections, just lift it up. You have 4 of them and they have little snaps. So you just press them down, pull out. And then just set the top cover to the side. The next step is to remove the lofted base, which is below here. And to do that, you just simply lay the system down on its side. And there will be 2 screws here that you'll remove. Now that those 2 screws have been removed, just simply pull the system back up to vertical, and there's 2 more screws on the inside that you have to undo. What I like to do when I'm removing these screws is just keep them in place, and then the nut will actually just fall beneath the base. Now that those are unscrewed, we can simply lift off the unit and the base has been separated. And just simply set that to the side. The next part we're going to remove is this metal wrapper here. And to do that, you just simply remove 8 screws, 4 on each side. Now that you've removed the front screws, all you need to do is lay the system on its side and remove these remaining screws here. Now that you've removed these 6 screws on the bottom, lift the system back up to its top. And now you can remove the metal skin that's on the side simply by just pulling to the sides. And it takes a little bit of persuasion. Once you've had a chance to get the metal skin free, just gently and easily slide it to the side. This way you're not worrying about damaging the connections that are down here. This circuit board here is the high energy power supply. Then you have your voltage multiplier, and then you have your 12 volt power supply. Inside the top cover is your control board. And on the front of the unit, you have your safety interlock slot, which is right down here, and that's what your front grille slides into. If the unit doesn't power on, just check a couple things. First thing you'll want to check is make sure that the power cord is fully seated in the back. And push all the way in. If that's good, make sure that the outlet that the cord is plugged into is a working outlet. After that, if you're still not getting power, spin this around. Make sure that the interlock, I'm going to remove the front grille, there's a safety interlock where this pin slides in the bottom, this little slot, and it engages a safety interlock. And what that does is with this cover off, the system won't work. So to make sure that that is engaged, just remove the front grille and reinstall it. And it may take a couple times to do that, but you want to hear it snap in, and you'll hear a click when that is done. If all that doesn't work, just go ahead and check your fuse. Fuse is on the back here, and you just need a Phillips screwdriver, and you just spin it out and remove the assembly and check the fuse. If the DFS indicator light is red, as you can see here, a lot of times your finger might have just turned it off, so just simply turn it back on. If you try that and it still doesn't work, what you can do is remove the front grille, clean the high energy grid and the wires like I spoke of previously, and then once you're done with that, press and hold the DFS button for 5 seconds to reset it. If the DFS light indicator is still red and you've tried turning the button back on and you've tried cleaning the high energy grid, there's one more thing you can do to diagnose the problem and see which component needs to be replaced. At that point, you'll go down and find with this wire here and this wire here. Make sure that the system is unplugged. Both these wires here provide power to the voltage multiplier, and that's what we're disconnecting here. At this point, what you'll do is put the top back on, and then you'll put the grill back on, and then plug the system in. And what will happen is, if you see that the DFS light is still out, then the problem is your high voltage power supply needs to be replaced. If the light turns on, then you know your voltage multiplier needs to be replaced. As you can see, the system was designed with serviceability in mind. If you have any questions, please contact us.